Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeff Kay, Program Director of WKBW Radio. In a few moments, WKBW Radio will begin its broadcast of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. When the show was originally broadcast by the Mercury Theater of the Air, just 34 years ago tonight, the landing of the Martians was covered by radio with the techniques that were in use at that time. Since then, the techniques have changed. Newsmen and their modern and efficiently equipped vehicles are far more mobile.
Well, I see they finally made a song about our government. Gypsies, traps, and thieves. Just got to share for you the third biggest hit in Buffalo on a Halloween night at KD. I was born in the wagon of a traveling show. My mama used to dance for the money. Have alerted all their space watch and facilities to be on the alert for unusual communication difficulties tonight. A spokesman for the federal agency referred to the explosions on the planet Mars and said it was not known if they would have the same effect on Earth communications as similar explosions on the surface of the sun have. I guess they're talking about sunspots and things like that. So, I don't know. It means it's going to be hard to hear communications from that. Can you hear me down here in South Carolina? As long as you can hear KB, what difference does it make about communication?
Whether you're a Republican, or a Democrat, or a liberal, or a conservative, or a radical, or a racist, or a panther, or a fascist, or a male chauvinistic pig, or a bourgeois capitalistic swine, or a leftist, or a rightist, or a long-haired weirdo commie freak, or a hippie, or a yippie, or an arty type, or a jock, a rioter, a peace maven, an Uncle Tom, an America Firster, a draft resistor, an anti-busser, a pro-busser, a segregationist, or an integrationist, a Marxist, a Leninist, or a pro-war tub-tupper. You all have one thing in common. You are all born naked. N-U-D-E, naked. Realizing this, certain enterprising entrepreneurs entertained ideas of emporiums devoted solely to clothing these political unities. Manufacturers like Freebish Fig Leaf and Gauss the Goyim Fig Leaves were very big. But the biggest of them all was the right Fig Leaf at Keyhole Fashion's University Plaza. Proprietor, Seymour Keyhole. There were big leaves in all the raging colors of the rainbow in knits and double knits from Keyhole and Wright. Ah, how things have changed from big leaves to Wright slacks, but one thing remains constant. They are still at Keyhole Fashions. Another constant. Seymour Keyhole is still the proprietor. He still has the best prices and the best selections of knits and double knits from Wright slacks in the Garden of Paradise. And he still has a big leaf or two for that individualist who would like to shock the less stable members of the University of Buffalo band. They still have a band. Keyhole Fashion, University Plaza. This dramatization of the War of the Worlds is brought to you by Keyhole Fashions, University Plaza, headquarters in Buffalo for Wright slacks.
Thank you, Keyhole Fashions, baby. Rock and roll. WKBW Jackson Armstrong communicating with your head. Halloween night. Getting it all together where it is. WKBW. Number one song of the KB Top 35 survey for this week. It's down to climax for you. The old Outsiders with Sonny Gerard singing a thing called Precious and Few, KB. I don't know if we still can. With information. Authorities in the town of Grand Island have requested aid from Buffalo firefighting officials to combat a series of fires that have erupted as a result of an explosion. Traffic on the Grand Island bridges has been halted to all except emergency vehicles responding to the call for aid. All onlookers and motorists have been asked to stay clear of the area. Repeating, traffic on the Grand Island bridge has been halted except for emergency vehicles. All onlookers and motorists are asked to stay clear of that area. Jackson Armstrong on the radio, and we got a word from Keyhole Fashions coming up, I think. This is WKBW Buffalo, New York.
Keyhole Fashions in the University Plaza is looking for your vote. Keyhole Fashions stands on a platform of glamorizing the male form. The planks proliferate. Your vote will bring you everything a man could desire to adorn, to decorate, to revel in regal finery. It would be criminal to call Keyhole Fashions shirts. Call them love and peace. Call them violence. Call sunrise or sunset. But don't call them shirts. The punishment freak will freak out over their supply of leather belts. And Keyhole Fashions comes out strongly for the man with spindly shanks. A soundly constructed platform of Wright slacks makes this possible. Every color, every pattern, every texture a man could desire in knits and double knits. No idle boasts, no promises, reality, fact. the times we live in, the clothes we live in, all at Keyhole Fashions. A promise from Keyhole Fashions proprietor Seymour Keyhole, a man's man, a man who deserves your confidence, your clothing, and fashion trust. Seymour Keyhole, not just another pretty face, but a tough pro that will clothe you beautifully. Keyhole Fashions, University Plaza. This dramatization of the War of the Worlds is being brought to you by Keyhole Fashions, University Plaza, where right slacks in all colors and styles are available now.
Dog night at WKBW on the Jackson Armstrong roll around with you on a Sunday night, Halloween night at KB. We're in the music on. Gotta be another million seller for the boys with Danny Hutton, just an old-fashioned love song.
Just to know that's a love song playing on the radio. And wrapped around the music is the sound of someone promising they'll never go. You say you've heard it before, it slowly rambles on. No need in bringing back to the never really gone. Just to know that's a love song. Well, I'm sure they wrote from you and me. Just to know that's a love song. Coming down to sing our harmony. Keep our dreams upon and listen to each season when the lights are low. To underscore our love affair with tenderness and fear that we've come to know. You say you've heard it before, it slowly rambles on and on. No need in bringing them back to the never really gone. Just an old-fashioned love song coming down to sweet harmony. Just an old-fashioned love song. Well, I'm sure they wrote for you and me. Just an old-fashioned love song coming down to sweet harmony. Just an old-fashioned love song.
Just an old-fashioned love song. It's Pre-Dog Night at WKBW on a Sunday night, Halloween night at WKBW on the Jackson Armstrong radio program. And I've been asked by Joe Downey to pass on to you that the news department is really overloaded in there with what's going on tonight, and they don't have time to answer the phones. I know a lot of people would like to know what's going on, but as soon as we know something, we put it on the air, see? So don't call Joe Downey and mess him up because he's in there really busy right now. A lot of calls have been coming in regarding the explosion on Grand Island that we talked about a little bit later, and this really slows Joe down. So I tell you what, why don't you just don't call the newsroom, and that way you don't, slow down the whole system down here at WKBW, all right? I got a word for you now from Keyhole Fashions again.
Knits and double knits have become a stable part of every man's wardrobe. The people at Keyhole Fashions know this, and they've become authorities on knit flags for men with the help of the people at Right Flags. Right Flags have been developed over the years, not rushed into a market for sale before they were sure that the flags would stand up, not lose their crease, not sag in the seat. That's just one of the reasons the people at Keyhole Fashions have the largest supply and selection of Right Flags in the city. The knit holds up, it's comfortable, it's easy to care for, and what's more, it comes in a wide variety of styles, patterns, and colors. The people at Keyhole Fashions University Plaza know this, and they know that Right Flags have been responsible for putting Keyhole Fashions in front of the pack. Keyhole Fashions, where the right word in men's knits and double knits flags is right. Keyhole Fashions University Plaza. This dramatization of the War of the Worlds is being brought to you by Keyhole Fashions, University Plaza, where right slacks in all colors and styles are available now.
Good old Keyhole Fashions, baby. Rockin' and rollin' Jackson Armstrong Sunday night, Halloween night with the music here on WKBW. Okay, now don't call the news department about the Grand Island thing because if you do, like you're going to mess up Joe Downey, he's very busy. Former number one star, KB is number 2. Once more, please do not call the newsroom right now. I know what's going on in Grand Island is weird and everything, here, folks. I know normally we don't come in on the top of a record or thing like that when it's not over, but Joe Downey has a special interrupt story on this thing that's happening in Grand Island. So let's go to the newsroom and Joe Downey.
It's been reported that a large meteor has struck the ground along East River Road on Grand Island, setting off a series of fires and explosions. Several persons have been injured, and as yet there is no confirmed number regarding the number of people that may have been killed. KB Total News men are already on their way to the scene. Repeating, it's reported a large meteor has struck ground along East River Road on Grand Island. We'll have a special report in a few minutes.
Apparently this thing is a little more serious than anybody suspected initially. You know, I guess I advise you not to drive out of the area, you know, because there's going to be a lot of people trying to get out over the bridges or to the bridges to find out what's going on. You know, whenever there's any accidents or anything, people rush out for gawk and stuff. Don't do that, at any rate. I don't know, you know, the emergency equipment's got to get out there for sure. And I imagine since they're having such an unusual situation out there to begin with, they don't want any more problems. So I'll get some more music for you in a second or two. This is the Jack Armstrong Show at WKBW in Buffalo, and it's a sunny night of Halloween.
Hey there, Sharpie. You see the attractions of keyhole fashions have become so bizarre that Seymour Keyhole, the owner, is considering charging admission. And every freak in town is gathering in the little shop at University Plaza to ogle the goods. And Seymour Keyhole, he's the owner, was recently commended by the Fireman Home Journal and their noted authorities on men's fashion. And his belt clerk, he won't ask you what your waist size is. He'll beat himself with the belt to show you it won't leave marks. And you know they have the widest selection of belts in the area for whatever purpose you may have in mind. And the clerk in charge of neckties is a direct descendant of Quasimodo. And then, of course, there's Seymour himself, a positive vision. In addition to freaks, they have clothes, shirts, slacks, ties, jackets, belts, innerwear, outerwear, underwear, and a padded room in the back for those customers that like to get involved. You'll love trying on a pair of bright slacks, knits or double knits at Keyhole Fashions. The inseam measurement is worth a trip. Keyhole Fashions, University Plaza.
This dramatization of the War of the Worlds is brought to you by Keyhole Fashions in the University Plaza, where right slacks and knits and double knits are available in a wild variety of colors.
Hey, just another reminder out there. Thank you again, Keyhole Fashion. Just another reminder. Please don't call the studios. We're looking for information about this meteor thing on Grand Island, and we'll pull it together, get it on the air for you as soon as we can. If the KB Newsman can stay on the job and not have to answer the phones, we'll get the whole thing put together a lot quicker. Let's get to the music. And just wait a minute. Hold on a second. Joe Downey's got a little more information for you, I guess, here.
All available firefighting equipment has been called to Grand Island, and much of the apparatus has already arrived there. The cause of the alarm is reportedly a large meteor that has struck in the vicinity of Grand Island Boulevard. Several persons have been injured and some are believed dead, although we have no confirmed number on those people reportedly killed in the crash and explosion. Details are still rather sketchy. We expect to hear from KB Newsmen who are already on their way to the scene.
Thank you very much, Joe. I guess while we're waiting for further information on this whole thing tonight, I can get into some more music at KB. These are the Grassroots, and the song that was way up in the top 10 dropped down just a little bit now. 7th biggest hit in Buffalo, and 2 Divided by Love.
Divided by love, can only be one. And one is a long red number. 2 divided by love, can only be sad. And only her one, my mother, baby. Every night your tears come down, and I know how you're feeling inside. Loneliness, there's no one friend. I've been taking the thing.
We're going to interrupt this record, too, in order that we can get a report on from Don Lancer on his way to Grand Island and the KB Mobile News Cruiser.
We're now heading north on the South Grand Island Bridge. We're just past what has to be one of the largest areas of traffic congestion that I've seen in and around the Buffalo area or anywhere in western New York. Traffic coming off the Youngman Expressway is completely at a standstill. Traffic is now backing up on the thruway. This is heading toward the Grand Island Bridge. We've asked you to please stay away from the area. There have been fires and explosions on Grand Island. We're presently going across the bridge. There's one lane open to emergency traffic. This is firefighting apparatus. Ambulances, especially ambulances, are needed on the island. We understand the casualty count may be higher than at first thought. A policeman we spoke to at the entrance to the bridge gave us that information. We're not exactly sure how many people have been killed or injured, but they're calling in all available ambulances from the area. As we come across the bridge off to our right, we can see an orange light rising in the sky. It seems to be covering quite a large area along East River Road. As soon as we get down to the scene, we'll have further reports on that. This is Don Lancer, KB Total Mobile News on the Grand Island Bridge.
Thank you, Don. KB News is going to keep you informed of the developments as they come up tonight here on a...
Jack, we're going to take this story because of the importance of it. We're going to take it live.
Okay, well...
Spot, and we'll take it into there as soon as we can pick up the equipment and get it live.
Oh, all right. Well, that's Jeff Kay, our program director, folks, and he just informed me that we're going to cover this Grand Island news story live and direct from Grand Island, so... I guess what we'll have to do is just go ahead and go to the news department. So with further developments, this is WKBW Buffalo, New York, to our news department.
Are you ready with that mic to the newsroom? You're all set? Communications on, mic hot. Okay, Joe, take it.
This is Joe down here in the WKBW newsroom. Right now, there are reported explosions and fires on Grand Island. Communications at this time are reported down. Telephone communications are down, and other types of communications are very poor at this time on Grand Island. WKBW News is mobilizing its entire news department at this time. There is an unconfirmed report that a meteor exploded on Grand Island. Newsmen from KB are on the way right now to the disaster scene on Grand Island. WKBW newsman Henry Brock is now attempting to contact the Erie County Sheriff. Henry, have you called the sheriff?
Yes, Joe, go on.
Well, just to repeat just again, explosions and fires together cause a lack of communications on Grand Island. There's an unconfirmed report.
Let's go to
All right, now we'll go to the Sheriff's Department. Henry and the Sheriff.
Erie County Sheriff's Department, Deputy McIntyre here.
Hello, this is WKBW News. Anything on that goings-on Grand Island, Tom?
There's fires and there's damage. There's several lives have been lost, but we have no body count at this point. I can't give you an actual report at this point. There's fire people here, and there's military people. They're all over the place here. I can't really hardly give you any actual
Can you give us
report.
an estimate on the number of deaths or injuries?
No, there's no count at this point. We don't know, but there are several lives lost.
Are you in communication with all parts of the island yet, and with your units in the
Most
field?
of our communication lines are down here.
How about electrical and gas failures? Any reports on that?
There's been about 3 electrical failures that we know.
Any looting or things like
I
that?
can't tell you that at this moment. I really don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Henry, I couldn't hear that. I don't think the monitors were up loud enough. What's the story at the Sheriff's Department, Henry?
Well, obviously, the Erie County Sheriff's Department is up to its neck in work, trying to get information from that general area.
Henry,
and right now...
Fagan on the two-way.
Okay, Jeff, thank you.
393-2586, Jim Fagan. Go ahead, Hank.
Jim, can you give us anything new on the Grand Island situation?
Well, Hank, at the moment, we're heading south on the Robert Moses Parkway. We're heading for Grand Island. I have a chance to talk with Dr. Robert Moore, professor of astronomy here at the Ivry University. I came up here originally to talk to him about the hydrogen bomb intensity explosion on Mars. But now with the new incident arising on Grand Island, I have prevailed upon the professor to motor back to Grand Island with me to take a closer look at the situation. Dr. Moore, is there any relationship between the hydrogen bomb explosion on Mars and the situation on Grand Island?
Well, Mr. Fagan, I would first of all like to say that I don't believe there will be a hydrogen bomb explosion on Mars because it's 40 million miles away from us, and I don't believe there's a living soul up there to explode any such bomb. That would probably be some gaseous explosion with many layers of air, you see, and heavy and very hot gases. But I'm very anxious to see this explosion on Grand Island. I'm just amazed at what's going on over there, and certainly I'm as anxious as you to see this, and I'll have a lot more to say after I have a chance to examine these things.
Dr. Moore, can you tell us if that was an extraterrestrial body that landed on the island?
I would think not, sir, at the moment. As I say, I have not as yet seen what has happened on the island. We're going to be getting there in a few minutes, but certainly it's possible. But I would doubt it. That would be just my candid opinion before I have seen it.
Would you say it was a meteor?
Yes, that's very possible. There are many meteors that have landed on various parts of the Earth in the past many years, and this could possibly be just one of them.
Do you think there were more than one?
Well, certainly with the explosions that I'm hearing about, it's pretty possible there could be several of them, yes.
Okay, Doctor, thank you very much.
Hank, as we're heading south on the expressway, what's the story now on Grand Island? Do you have any more information yourself?
Jim, this is not Hank, it's Don. I'm in Unit 2. I'm presently on the East River Road. Could you give me your present location, please?
I'm on the Moses Expressway, and I'm heading south just beyond the falls now.
I'm having a lot of trouble here with traffic. I can't seem to make any headway at all on Grand Island or on the East River Road. Do you have any taping equipment with you, Jim?
Yes, I've got the Sony tape recorder with me in the back here.
Okay, good. As soon as you get on the scene, try and get us a report back with Dr. Moore and also some police officers. I'm attempting to pick my way through this traffic. I should be there in not too long. It's really congested down here.
See a little bit more traffic now. It looks like I'm going to have almost the same problem you're having. I see a great deal of traffic at the north end of the Grand Island Bridge now, at the base between the falls and the island.
I've come up on a side road here off to my left. I think I'll try and pick my way over that way maybe and then come back around into the scene.
Okay.
This is Henry Brock in the WKBW newsroom. It's just off the wire. United Press says it has unconfirmed reports that Governor Nelson Rockefeller is preparing to mobilize the National Guard in light of the developments on Grand Island.
Thank you very much.
New York Telephone Company has requested that only emergency calls be made by private individuals. The lines are beginning to be swamped with calls, and police and fire officials' switchboards have been overburdened with calls. Fire officials in the city of Buffalo are concerned at this time. The fires that have broken out on the island have bled off a great deal of equipment, and extra units in the city have been called in. Commissioner Felicetta of the Buffalo Police Department has requested that all off-duty policemen report to the precinct.
Henry, Herb Weinstein wants to know if we can hold for a second because we want to coordinate the TV unit.
John, have you gone to Delaware Park yet?
Heading towards the thruway in case you want me to go to Grand Island.
Okay, fine. We may shift the entire operation out to Grand Island in a couple minutes if this thing checks out.
5-4 to 393, Irv.
Yeah, Alan, go ahead.
Listen, if they've got this Whitehaven area cordoned off, well, let's get out there with the sound equipment.
Okay, go.
5-5 to 393. There sure must be something doing here.
Okay, Alan and Sam are headed out there with the sound gear.
Right on the corner of Whitehaven and Grand Island Boulevard, or within a half a block. We're out of the car.
393 out.
This is Henry Brock in the KB newsroom. It has just been confirmed that Governor Rockefeller has mobilized the National Guard, and contingents of the Guard from the western New York area are on their way to Grand Island. And now we have TV Total News Director Don Lancer standing by with a report from Grand Island.
Well, this is Don Lancer. We finally made it out to an area near the scene, and I'm speaking with lineman Dennis O'Malley. Could you tell me, Mr. O'Malley, what happened? Where were you when this thing occurred?
I'm working for Niagara Mohawk. I was checking out a line break earlier, and suddenly the sky lit up and there's this tremendous explosion. Do you have any idea what it was, sir? No idea at all. Just a loud noise and a bright light. That's all I know, man. Do you know if anybody at all in the air was injured? Have you heard any talk of that? No, I don't know any of that stuff. Lots pretty busy. We can prowl around now. North Cherry, Broadway, Woodley, LC Redway. Man, the power's out all over this place. Do you think this might have been a gas main explosion or something like that? No, I've heard gas main explosions before. This was nothing like that. I never heard anything like this before. Did you see anything fall? Anything hit the ground? No, just a bright light and loud noise. That's all I heard, man. Okay, thank you very much. This is Don Lancer in unit number 2. We're going to try now and make our way over to the scene. We're about 500 yards away from it at this moment. Now, I'll return you back to base.
Mike, is this one? This is Jeff Kay. Henry Brock is on the other side of the room right now, trying to raise Jim Fagan, who's in some portion of the island. You just heard KB News Director Don Lancer, who is attempting to make his way to the scene of death. I think we're picking up Jim Fagan out of the system.
Jim, where are you at the moment?
I'm just off Whitehaven Road, Hank, not too far from the scene.
What do you see there? A lot of destruction? Any houses down?
Right. Several houses have been leveled to the ground, and I can see ambulances. There are about 3 or 4 ambulances on the scene that I can see. The attendants and the medics in these ambulances are now treating several of the people who have been injured here. I counted about 20 persons injured here at the scene.
What do you got? You got walking injuries or real bad ones?
Hank, these people are badly crippled as a result of the injuries they've received. Several people are unable to walk at all, and I see a number of people bleeding about the face.
How about fire? Any destruction from fire? Fire's burning at the moment.
I'm sorry I didn't catch your last message, Hank.
Are there any fires in the area at the moment?
Several blazing all about. We see about 5 or 6 fires in the one immediate area that I can look to my right. And don't lose, sir. Go out.
Jim,
Jim, what about, there are parts of a crater up there. Have you seen it, or can you see it from where you are on your way up there?
I was able to make my way to the scene with the professor, and then he and I were separated. I did manage to see some sort of a gigantic hole in the ground. I can't see any more than that. The police kept pushing us back. They've got some sort of a fence around the whole area, and they are just not allowing any of us to get too close. Go on, I'm on my way.
Okay, Jim, 393 out.
Jim Fagan on the island, and apparently our worst fears have been realized with respect to property damage and personal injury. We understand now, we have a confirmed call that the National Guard is on their way on the Niagara Freeway. John Rancher is on the island. I believe he's trying to pick us up now. I think that was Don coming in. At any rate, the National Guard is on the way to the National... Yeah, he's on. Let me turn you over to Henry Brock.
Come in, Don. You're on live. You're on.
Yes, Henry, it's not a meteor, Henry. I'm standing on the edge of the crater right now, and I can look down into it, and there are clouds of white, hot steam rising from the face of what looks like some sort of a metallic cylindrical object. It's a very large object that's lying in the bottom of this crater. The best part is that no one around that I've been able to talk to find out what it might be. I don't know exactly what it is at all. I don't know. I haven't got anything on the edge. Go back. What? Dad? Would you go there, please? Okay, I'm going to have to go back now. I'm going to have
393 to 2586, Don Lancer. Don, are you all right?
Yeah,
393 to 2586. Don Lancer, come in, please. 3 to 2586, Don Lancer. Are you all right? If you hear me, answer, please. Take a spot.
Nibs and double nits have become a stable part of every man's wardrobe. The people at Keyhole Fashions know this, and they've become authorities on knit flags for men with the help of the people at White Flags. White Flags have been developed over the years, not rushed into a market for sale before they were sure that the flags would stand up, not lose their crease, not sag at the seam. That's just one of the reasons the people at Keyhole Fashions have the largest supply and selection of White Flags in the city. The knit holds up, it's comfortable, it's easy to care for, and what's more, it comes in a wide variety of styles, patterns, and colors. The people at Keyhole Fashions University Plaza know this, and they know that White Flags have been responsible for putting Keyhole Fashions in front of the bag. Keyhole Fashions, the right word in men's knits and double knit flags is right. Keyhole Fashions University Plaza. This dramatization of the War of the Worlds is brought to you by Keyhole Fashions in the University Plaza, with the best selection of right flags in town.
393 to 2586, Jim Fagan.
I can hear you, Hank. Go ahead.
Jim, what the hell happened to Don?
Hank, I'm on the opposite end of the crater from Don. I can see him from where I am. Don met with a little bit of an accident, but he seems to be okay. He was standing a little bit too close to the crater, apparently. He was on the lip of the crater when it suddenly gave way. Don fell about halfway down, but managed to recover himself, and now is back up on top okay. He made out the reserve power. He appears to be a little bit shaken up, but other than that, he's okay. He's talking with a few troopers just on the other side of the crater from where I am.
But Jim, we still don't know what hit. What was it, a meteor?
I have no idea. Apparently it's not a meteor, Hank, from what we can make out. This thing hit with such impact that it really got things moving here. This is what apparently cuts it all off. The fires, the broken gas leads, and what have you here on the island, as well as the numerous injuries. This thing hit with one hell of an impact.
Oh, this sounds like space debris. Was it space debris?
This thing is intact from what we can make out here in the scene. There's a lot of white heat coming out of there in the deep of the crater, but from what we can make out, the thing is intact. You can hear the noise. Listen to this thing. Can you hear it, Hank?
Yeah, I can hear it all right, Jim. What do you think it is, a booster?
I don't think so, Hank, but I'm not sure. I can't honestly say that it is a booster. This thing is cone-shaped. It's got a white metal casing, but as I said before, it appears to be intact, and it's giving off this weird sound.
Well, let's try to find out. Is there anybody there with you? Anybody from the military or from the other authorities?
We got people from military, we got city, we got county officials. They're all over the place. Police are now talking all around the edge of the crater. But no one has said anything at this time. They claim it's a little bit too early to say anything. Land to the block, land to the block. Henry, come in, Henry, do your read.
Richard Rob Square, Don. This is Jeff. Don Henry, how are you? Are you okay? Are you all right?
For the most part, Jeff, I am, yes. What happened was I fell down in the crater. I got about halfway down in there. I slipped on
on this side.
Hey, I tried to talk to Professor about moving up, but he managed to talk some lieutenant into approaching this thing. The lieutenant himself is carrying some sort of a pole around as full as a white handkerchief. And he and the professor are now approaching this monster of, good God almighty, but him with some sort of a hard beam. They're passing the flame. The professor, the lieutenant. We're getting out of here. We gotta get out of here. The hard beam is going all over the place, picking up people. One by one, the bodies are all over the place.
Say that free to Jim Fagan. Just what is going on out there? Jim, come in, Jim. What's going on?
Hey, this is Don. I'm on the other side of the crater. I can see Jim from where I'm standing. He's running away. What has happened is this thing has shot out a laser type beam, and it's killing people right and left. People are now stampeding over one another, trying to get out of its way. It's climbed down onto the side of the crater, and it's starting to come up over the top on the other side. I can see that beam shooting all over. It's a red beam, and the people are bursting in the flame instantly. That's got Jim. Oh no, it's got Jim. Oh, it's got Jim. I'm going to run over and see if I can help him out and see what happens.
You're going over to help him, is that right? You're going over to help Jim, is that right? The way here you were.
That's right, Henry. I'm going over to see if I can do something for him. I don't know how badly he's hurt.
You're going over to get out of there. Don't go help Jim. Help. Get back. Go, Don. Get out of that area.
Hank, do you want me to move back? I want to go over and see if I can help Jim.
Don, this is Jeff. Forget about Jim. If he's been stabbed, just forget about him. Get back away and stay as safe as you can. Keep close contact. We understand the Army is on their way out there. We'll be handling it from here. Stay in tight communication. Do you read me? Do you read me over?
Shouldn't I go over to Jim?
Forget it, man. Get back out and stay out of the way.
All right, Henry. I'm moving back.
Henry, pick it up and fill it for enough time for Don to get established out there.
This is Henry Brock in the KB newsroom.
KB, total
It's
news.
been reported that a spaceship has landed on Grand Island. That's a confirmed report. It's believed that the extraterrestrial beings in that vehicle are Martians. KB Total News still has Don Lancer on the island. And we have late word that the command post has been established by the National Guard on the island. Marshall law in Erie and Niagara County has also been rumored to be established. There have been rumored landings, though unconfirmed, of some more capsules in Toronto, Oshawa, Erie, Pittsburgh, the Finger Lakes area, Bradford, and in Dunkirk.
Henry, I have a guy on the phone right now, Constable Petrie from the Ontario Provincial Police right at the moment. Constable Petrie, you say that you have a report. You do. You do have a report. And where's it coming from? From in the Oshawa vicinity. You got 2 raccoon hunters in Oshawa who were out hunting late at night. You discovered the capsule in the swamp. Has it opened yet? Is there any sign of any activity around it? There hasn't been. And what action are the Canadian authorities taking? I see. They are going on the way. Has nobody been hurt yet? No injuries in that particular area. How about the Toronto landings? You have no confirmed reports on that yet. I see. Okay, thanks very much, Constable Petrie. A report from a constable in the Ontario Provincial Police that a couple of hunters spotted a capsule in the swampy area up there while they were out hunting, and military authorities are on their way to clear that up. Here's a couple of other things. You mentioned the martial law, right? That's a confirmed report from the governor. This bit about the explosions on Mars. You want to take that and I'll grab the phone?
Yeah, these explosions on Mars are believed to be associated with the landings on Grand Island and in other areas of the country, but there is no scientific confirmation.
Okay.
We've just gotten word that Don Lancer has made his way to a sheriff's command post on Grand Island.
Henry,
Should be ready to report
on
in just a few moments. Jeff Kay says that we have a confirmed report that there are 46 persons wiped out on Grand Island as of this time.
Niagara Air Force Base, we understand, has been put on alert. They're already scrambling aircraft, both to check out the landing in Grand Island and to provide some air support for them, in addition to trying to get some people down to these other areas where the landings have been spotted, where they're all within our flight range, so that we might have some confirmed reports from Niagara in just a very short time.
We understand that Don Lancer is about ready to file a report from the island, and we switch now to Don Lancer.
Well, all right, now we've finally had a few seconds to get ourselves oriented here, and I managed to get to what I consider to be a safe distance away from the crater. At the present moment, troops have been moved up about maybe 200 all told. they're ringing the crater at a safe distance, maybe 100 yards away from it. And overhead, a lot of jets have been flying back and forth. There's a helicopter that's been hovering, stationed itself off to my right above a clump of trees, not directly over the crater itself. Earlier, the creature that had come out stopped about maybe 100 yards away from the edge of the capsule and suddenly went back in. The capsule is still open. At least it was open when I was up there maybe 5 minutes ago, and I don't think it's closed yet. Wait a minute. There's one jet that seems to be making a pass. It's coming in low now. It's fired a rocket. There's a terrific explosion in the crater. Smoke is billowing up. Heat is intense. I can see flames flickering from here. Apparently that rocket pass has done absolutely no good. You can still hear the sound. I think I can hear it from here, and it's still just as loud as it has been since we first got here. Here comes another jet, another pass being made. 2 more rockets have been fired into the crater. Another terrific explosion with smoke billowing sky high. It doesn't seem to have done anything at all to this thing in the crater. There's no sign of life. Wait, there's some activity. There's something going on. Here comes. It looks like a bowl, a silver bowl, turned upside down, with long, thin lights on it. It's rising into the air. It's huge. It's about 50 feet in the air.
Well, what is this thing, Don? Can you describe it, a little more detail on it? What is it?
Henry, the only thing that I can tell you is it looks like a flying saucer with long, stilty legs, and it's moving at a fantastic rate. Here comes a jet. The jet is making a pass on this thing, on this saucer. It's fired its rockets. The rockets bounced off. They bounced off. They've exploded right in midair. It's shooting at the jet. It's got one jet. It's passing back. The beam is continuing. It's passing back. It just cut another one. It cut another one right in half. It blew up right in midair. And it's coming in this direction. It's moving at a fantastic rate. It's like a huge monster. It's plodding along on these long legs. It just got the helicopter. It cut the helicopter in half. It crashed into the treetops. I'm getting out of here. I'm moving on. This is Don. I'm off.
Right, Don, right. Just get off the island. Get off immediately. Get off immediately.
Don Lancer is leaving Grand Island at the moment. We're back in the KB newsroom.
All right, I'm getting off.
Yeah, he's going off the island right now, and we're back in the KB newsroom, and I have several things that have come in here. Scientists are now speculating, and it's no longer speculation, that the strange phenomenon that scientists the world over witnessed on the planet Mars, the gaseous explosions that we reported to you just what seemed like such a short time ago, in reality has turned to be such a nightmare, is the fact that these landings that have been reported in the vicinity, I have stand by one moment, please. I have the report here somewhere. Landings have been reported in Toronto, Oshawa, Erie, Pittsburgh, the Finger Lakes region, Bradford, Dunkirk area of western New York, and now I understand in the Batavia area. The scientists are speculating at this moment that they are indeed allied with the phenomenon that occurred on Mars, and I've just been handed another message. A report from Grand Island says that National Guard, regular Army, U.S. Air Force, police, and sheriff's deputies numbering in the vicinity of about 1,000 men have almost been totally destroyed by a single fighting machine from what is believed to be a planet Mars. There are approximately 20 survivors. The rest remain trampled by this huge metal feet of this Martian fighting machine or cindered by the heat ray. And at last report, we understand that the charred body of Jim Fagan is also discovered on the island. Another report, again, that further explosions are now being witnessed by the Judrow Bank Observatory in England on the planet Mars. We understand that Jamestown, Lewiston, Lockport, all of the towns surrounding the Niagara County area in Erie County around Grand Island are all being evacuated at this moment. We've lost communications with Don. He is en route back to the main side of the Niagara River to the Tonawondas. Just a moment, please. I'm sorry, say again? We have a report from Tonawanda in just a moment. Stand by one, please.
Is this the line for the Tonawanda report? Hello, who's there?
Hey, Jeff, this is John.
John who?
Irving. Oh, John, yes, where are you?
I'm up Tonawanda, Jeff. I tried to get across to Grand Island. I heard this thing developing, and I tried to get over there, but I can't get over there. Just not letting anybody by on the bridges.
John, just hang on. Who won't let you by?
The National Guard. They're over there. They're trying to do something. I think they're putting mines up on the bridge. They look like mines.
Mines on the bridge?
Yes, on the bridge.
Are they going to blow it?
I don't know. Apparently they're trying to stop these things from getting across. So apparently they think they're going to come across on the bridge, but they blocked all traffic on the bridge. I can see people over on the other side, but they're trying to get over.
John, they're not letting the people across.
They're not letting anybody across. You're over here, or them coming over here. I don't know what they're going to do.
Either on or off the island.
No, nobody. On or off. The island is completely sealed off.
What's the military up to on your, where are you?
I'm along River Road here, and the excellent oil tanks here, the refinery. The guard is just establishing a perimeter here. They're trying artillery units. I've never seen artillery units like this. Huge cannon being established around here, and there are hundreds of troops coming in. They're just coming in scores of trucks and everything they can get together, apparently. I've never seen so much military force in one place in my life.
Have you seen anything of any of our mobile units? Because Lancer was on the island. We haven't seen
I haven't seen a thing, man. I just haven't been able to get across there. They're blocking. They didn't even, for press credentials, nothing was good. They just wouldn't let me over there. And my God, they've blown a bridge.
The bridge?
One bridge is gone. It's down in the river. It's like something I've never seen it.
What about that? John, were there any people on the bridge when it went?
There was some on the other side who were trying to get over on the far side. I don't know what. Now people are jumping in from the other side. They're trying to swim the thing. They can't swim that river.
Coming into the river?
They can't swim that river. The rapids are sweeping them right away. I've never seen anything like this.
John,
The river. I don't believe it. The bridge has gone to the other side. The other span has gone too, and there were people on that span. They just blown it up.
Just take it easy. Take it easy. See if you can try and find, some sort of a command post to see if you can find.
There's no place to go. They're trying to move me away now. Wait, hang on a second, Jeff. Please, honey, I'm on a report. I'm trying to report. Will you please?
John,
Please, officer.
Can you see the Martian machine at all? We understand it's very, very high.
There's something over there. I really, it's ill-defined. I just can't see what it is for sure. There's a stilt or something coming out of the water. They've blown the bridges. They're coming across anyway.
They're 40
coming across. They're 40-foot river, and the stilts are down in the water, and they're just coming across. They're still on the surface.
All right, John, hold on. I got a report coming in from John Lancer. Apparently he's there. He's on the two-way. Just hang tight on the phone.
All right, Jeff.
Hang on.
All right.
John Irving of TV News, and he'll be standing by out at River Road. We have a report now from Don Lancer. Henry, give us the Don live.
Yes, Henry. I just made it across the bridge when it blew. It was horrible. All of a sudden, the bridge just erupted, and
Don, did they establish a perimeter? Did the National Guard establish a perimeter yet?
Yes, Henry, it has. There's a large bird, a lot of men and heavy artillery around here. I've never seen such artillery before in this area.
Don, how many machines are coming at you? Do you have any idea? Are they fording the river yet?
I can see two of them are in my line of view. Two of them at the present moment, and they're coming up. They're firing at the artillery, and the artillery is firing back. There's huge explosions all along the shore here. And there's huge explosions. I can see bodies flying in the air from here. Bodies are flying through the air. There's another machine. I can see another one. Now they're joining forces right up here in front of the refinery. They haven't quite got there yet. There's a total of three machines here. They're coming into the refinery. The artillery is now turned around from its perimeter. We barely got one. We got one. It's down. The other, we got it. It's down. Artillery flashed it. It just settled down very slowly. The other two have joined it. And now they're emitting some sort of a smoke screen, it looks like, from here. They're not very far away from me. It's thick, black smoke. It's about as tall as a man. It's starting to encompass the entire area. The smoke is coming from these things, and the artillery, the weapons they're continuing to fire into the center, into where these three machines are located. The smoke cloud is now coming toward me, Henry. My God, there's a man falling. It's not smoke. It's gas. It's gas.
Great operator Don Lancer. Come in, Don Lancer.
What you are listening to is the dramatization of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds on WKBW Radio at 1520 on your Buffalo dial. I repeat, it is a dramatization. It is a play It is not happening in any way, shape, or form. What you are listening to is a dramatization of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds as being portrayed on WKBW 1520 Buffalo.
Don Lancer, come in. Don Lancer, 393 to Don Lancer. If you hear me, come in. 393 to Don Lancer. If you hear me, come in, please, Don.
This is a dramatization.
We have lost communications with Don Lancer on River Road on the mainland side, actually, of the river. He's off Grand Island. Don's last report was that the two remaining Martian machines, there are now two of them, they were emitting some sort of black clouds, which apparently were kind of a gas, and frankly, we don't know whether Don is alive or dead at this moment. John Irving is on the island. We had him standing by the telephone. Let me see if I can pick him up. Hello, John. John, are you there? Hello, John Irving. Come in, John. John? I'm afraid that John Irving is not available for us at the moment. Bulletins are piling up in our studios. We have one mobile unit left in the field. Irv Weinstein is in the unit. We'll try and communicate with him as quickly as we can. Bulletins are beginning to pile up in our studios. Let me try and bring you up to date if I can. From Pittsburgh, U.S. Air Force planes are flying reconnaissance patrols and report that 3 Martian machines are visible above the treetops in the vicinity of the sprawling Steel City. That's in addition to the 2 that have been reported in the Tonawanda. They're now currently rampaging the Akron Oil Refinery. The Pittsburgh machines apparently are moving toward the community of Bradford. From all reports, they're moving rapidly. They're not using heat rays. It appears they do not intend on damaging towns and communities if possible. However, they're stopping to tear up power lines, bridges and railroad tracks, and punching huge holes in the highways. The objective, apparently, is to disrupt communications and disorganize human society altogether. Air Force scout planes have reported further sightings. Martian machines reported to be 3 in number, moving toward the city of Buffalo from Erie, Pennsylvania. Scouts report that the machines are moving with great speed, and military authorities feel that they are perhaps attempting to link up with the machines that have landed in the Buffalo area. A further report from the Battle of Grand Island to bring you up to date there were 20 survivors after a force of 1,000 men attempted to contain one machine there. They forded the Niagara River. Army field pieces destroyed access bridges to the island. People have been jumping off the side of the Grand Island side of the banks of the river there and being swept over the falls in an effort to get away from these machines. The bridges were destroyed despite the fact that little of the population of the island was actually able to get off the battle. Do you have something for me, Dan? Do you have something for me? What do you got? Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. All right, let me get the mic over there. Let me just move this mic over here for a second. I have a report coming in. Apparently, there's an open line from Dunkirk on the UPI machine. Those fellows have done a tremendous job tonight keeping us up to date on what's going around. I am the last man in the city. This must be from the UPI operator there in Dunkirk. Everyone seems to have fled the city, and they are gone or they are dead from the gas or have been crushed. They are coming closer now and heading toward me. They're very close now. I can't make it out. It's getting garbled again. There it is. They're getting ready. The message is ended. It comes from a UPI operator in Dunkirk. Hold on just a moment. Hey, Jeff, Bird's on the two-way. Okay, thanks, Norm. Ladies and gentlemen, one moment, please. We're getting a report from Irv Weinstein on the two-way radio. Hold on, please.
Irv Weinstein, the base station. Anyone read me?
Yeah, Irv, this is Jeff Kay. I'm glad to hear your voice. Where are you now?
Jeff, I'm up on top of City Hall at the Communications Center. Very eerie. The whole place is completely deserted. People apparently took off quite a while ago, and it's really a mess.
Yeah, I can well understand. There's only 2 people here at the studio left, just myself and Norm Schrud, and he's heading home to his family, and you and I are it. You're the last guy out in the field. The rest of the guys, both TV units are dead, and both the radio units have been knocked off. What's your status? How do you know what? Have you got a match? I have been looking for a match for 30 minutes for this lousy cigarette, and I can't find one.
We got real problems. Listen, I hope my guys are all right. I hope it's only a communications problem. Have you heard anything from them at all?
Nothing at all, Irv. Nothing at all. Not since the battle at Grand Island. I know Lancer and Fagan are both dead, and I got to assume that the rest of the crew is gone too.
Jeff, I tried to get to the island, but it's just impossible. It's just an impossible situation. You just cannot move. People are desperately trying to get out of the city. I don't think they quite know why they're leaving or where they hope to go.
Information communications to the studio here with the teletypes and the phones and all that has been very, very sketchy here at this point. We do know that the Grand Island bridges have both been blown in an effort to keep the Martian machines on the islands that landed there on the island, but they were able to ford the river. We're getting just bulletins from all over the place. I understand that ships off the west coast of the U.S. have been diverted to coastal ports in Washington, Oregon, and California that take refugees off. They're abandoning the towns, Los Angeles and San Francisco, and there have been no sightings out there yet. It seems as only the East Coast has been hit. Can you see anything from where you're at?
Yeah, I can get a pretty good view of the area from here. As I look down at all the main arteries of the city, as I say, it's just one big mad traffic jam, and nothing is going anywhere. The cars are just standing still. It's almost like looking down on one of these toy cities. There's nothing moving. It's eerie. That's all I can say about it.
I know what you mean. We just received a report. Got a report a few minutes ago from Dunkirk, which from the top of the building you might be able to get a look at because these things are awfully hot. From Dunkirk, there's supposed to be a couple of machines there. East Aurora has been abandoned and is occupied, as I understand it, by Martians. And it looks like you and I are the last two news guys that are moving right now. Can you move that mobile unit at all? Can you get back into it, move it around?
Oh, I can't move at all. Frankly, I was lucky to be able to get out here and get up here. Wait a minute. I hear something. I'm not quite sure what it is. Wait a minute, hold on.
I can hear the sound too, we've been listening to it all night long. It's been a change. We understand that in addition to all the confusion that the refugees have caused, that they've been knocking off communications. But one of the interesting things about this is that they haven't been knocking down houses if they can possibly avoid it. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Apparently they're more interested in knocking out communications and power systems. Jeff, do me a favor, will you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Call my wife and tell her I'm okay, would you please?
Will do, as soon as I can. Will do.
There's something going on out on the lake. I see some flashing lights. I can't quite make out what it is. Jeff, as I look down on the southern part of the area from here, the city of Lackawanna is completely blacked out now. Apparently all the power in that area is knocked out. The only thing I can see are what appear to be tremendous explosions in the area of the Bethlehem Steel Company plant.
Roger, understand. We've been getting very little here in the past few minutes. The communications are just in complete and utter chaos. The teletype machines, you can hear them behind me, they're chattering away, but they're not printing anything. The printers are just sitting there, just kind of rocking back and forth, but not putting anything out but total gibberish. The phone lines, it's almost impossible to keep up with, and I've just given up answering them. I have a sighting of a machine that's about 6 blocks from the station right now, Delaware Park. Do you have anything in view there?
Yeah, things are pretty much as they were, except that now there is no sound at all. Everything is just deathly quiet. Nothing is moving. Nothing is happening. I still hear that weird sound apparently emanating from the machines. I think I can make them out now. They appear to be approaching the city.
The only operational units, military units that are in the area are aircraft.
1520 Buffalo.
Proven virtually totally ineffective. You might keep an eye out because I know that there are some in the area.
Yeah, I've seen some Air Guard planes, F-100s in the area, but understandably they are approaching extremely cautiously.
What about the refugees? Are they making any headway getting them out? The city appears to be totally circled by these machines, and they're ripping up the communications and punching huge holes in the major arteries in the road. It doesn't appear as though many people are able to move their automobiles, and those that are not able to move their cars are abandoning them, and it's further adding to the congestion. Is there any movement below you that you can notice?
Absolutely no movement whatever, and this is what puzzles me. The cars are stopped. I would have thought that people would have gotten out of the cars and tried to make it away on foot, but absolutely nothing is moving. There appears to be a gaseous kind of material spreading out over the cars. I'm not quite sure what it is.
That probably is gas, and it's very, very lethal gas. It was reported to hunt the ground very, very closely. They used it up at the Battle of Grand Island when they forded the river there. That's how Lancer fought it, and John Irving too. You want to be careful and stay high if you can, because that stuff stays close to the ground unless the wind lofts it up.
Jeff, they're coming on. I can see them now. I can see them now, Jeff. They're There are maybe 50, 100, 1,000. I really can't tell from here. The Air National Guard planes are trying to get in on them, but apparently they're being picked off by laser beams. The planes are just exploding in midair. They've started to move into the downtown area. I can see one coming in off the area of the thruway. Jeff, they are moving fast.
Yeah, they move very rapidly.
Unbelievable. This thing is maybe 50 feet high. A huge steel body and long legs, almost goose-stepping. There's one. I can look right down in it right now in Niagara Square.
It's in Niagara Square right now.
Right. Yeah, check.
Be very careful. Can you give me a good description?
Jeff, it's extremely difficult to describe this thing. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Wait a minute.
Irv, are you there? Irv?
Jeff, it has just knocked the communications towers off the telephone building.
Irv, be very, very careful now. They've been after communications all night. That's what they've been destroying all the way down the line. You're in the communications center there for the county in the city hall there. You better get out of there as quickly as you can.
That's all right. I'll be all right. I just want to say, Jeff, it's 35 West.
Irv, can you hear me? KK to 393, KK 393 to KH2586. Can you hear me? Irv, can you hear me? Oh. Irv, please, Irv, answer me, Irv.
Even this thing has gone dead. One side is out and I'm out, and I guess I'm the only one. Maybe you. You want to talk to who?
Dr. Weinstein.
Is anybody up in this building?
What am I going to do? The only one left. I wonder if anybody's listening. I wonder if anybody's got a radio that's operating. The transistor. And take this mic and I'll go outside. That's what I'll do. I'll go outside. Get this thing. And I'll stand. What am I going to do? I'll go outside. All right. Get yourself together. Go outside. Oh, yeah. Here feels good. Look at the cars. Look at the cars. Shooting. Downtown. Shooting. There's some people. Hey! Hey there! Hey! Right. Don't even look. It's terrible. Look at these people run. They're staying off Main Street, though. And look at the cars. Looks like a used car lot. I can hear it. They're shooting down there. I want to go to the blue. I can see the smoke. The lights on Main Street seem to be coming out one by one. It's as though a giant hand will just turn them out one by one. They're moving up this way. Oh, the smoke. The smoke is obscuring. I'm coming. One in front of Marquesian just went out. It's only about a block and a half away. Weinstein. Lancer. They're all gone. But it's getting also close. To Utica Street. I don't want to. The lights. Lights are
able to cover great distance with radio units the size of a small valise. Communications has improved to a degree that broadcasters in 1938 would not have thought possible. And these are the techniques that we have utilized in preparation of our presentation of the War of the Worlds. The WKBW radio production staff has followed the plot outline and basic script very closely. We approached the story with the feeling of not how can we copy it, but how would it be covered by a modern newsroom in this day and age? And you are about to hear the results. Our writing and production staff have updated the basic story and changed the locations to make it more meaningful to our Western New York audience. For those of you that have heard the show in the past, you know it takes place on Grand Island. For those of you who heard the original broadcast, you will find very little change. The story, the sequence of events, remains the same. For those too young to have heard the original, you are about to find out what Old Panic was about. Radio in 1938 was a fledgling industry, one that was beginning to discover its own impact on the audience. This show, The War of the Worlds, was a graphic demonstration of just how much impact it could have. The broadcasting industry at that time had a strange charisma that surrounded it. If a radio announcer said it, it was true, then it was true. The same could be said for newspaper, the only other mass media at the time. Now, people have since become more sophisticated, more aware of what goes on about them, and unwilling to accept all that they hear on the air or read in the papers. But place yourself in the position of a listener in 1938, and you'll begin to grasp the import of what occurred. At the same time, Halloween night 1968, WKBW Radio brought to a close the most intensive promotional campaign that we had ever run. Campaign directed at informing the public of our intention to air our adaptation of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. 21 days of announcements, one per hour, every hour. Radio, television, newspapers, alerting police, fire, and civic authorities in the 8 counties surrounding Buffalo. Press releases to schools, newspapers, the telephone company, anyone who might be affected by phone calls so they could answer them intelligently. The Buffalo Police and Telephone Company reported to WKBW that they received more than 4,000 phone calls. The Canadian military authorities dispatched military units to the Peace Bridge, the Rainbow Bridge, and the Queenston Bridge to repel invaders. A local newspaper, a prominent one, received 3 separate press releases from our station, and in the middle of the show sent a team of reporters and photographers to Grand Island to cover the Martian invasion, as confessed to us by an embarrassed photographer. One county civil defense unit went on alert and ordered men to all stations. One unfortunate police chief from a small nearby city happened to be at his desk in the middle of the show when a man straggled into the police station with a wild tale of Martians invading the States. One look at the man, and it was obvious that stronger spirits than those that haunt Halloween had taken hold of his senses. Until, that is, they inquired where he had heard this and finally turned on the radio. They joined us in midstream. And amid the hubbub of handing out weapons and preparing to defend their homes against all odds, the policeman heard a commercial. Sheepishly, they ordered pizza and sat down to listen to the rest of the show. And this was told to us by the police chief himself, who also sheepishly asked that his name be withheld. We'll respect that request. The story was carried the next day by 47 newspapers, the country wide. And on the night of the show and during the show, United Press bureaus up and down the east coast of America were besieged by phone calls asking about the Martian invasion in Buffalo. Incredible? You're absolutely right, it is incredible. All through that Halloween evening, people called WKBW Radio. When is the War of the Worlds going to start? And we would tell them 11 o'clock. And promptly at 11 o'clock the show began. Then we started to get calls saying, well, where is it? And we replied, it's on. Listen. And they did. And then they found themselves being carried away by the realism that's reflected in the show. We've attempted to do the story as closely as we could to the way that a modern news department would handle a developing story of this nature. Again, we followed the original sequence of events exactly as Orson Welles did in the original broadcast 34 years ago tonight. We will interrupt the show a number of times to say, this is a dramatization. And in the midst of the horror and chaos, you will notice that we are not that chaotic. We cannot interrupt for a commercial. All these things are done to let you catch up with your mind, to let you pull in the reins of your imagination. They're rest periods for your imagination. And if you intend to stay with us for the next hour and a half, please take advantage of them. Ladies and gentlemen of Eastern America and Canada, WKBW Radio in Buffalo presents our adaptation of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, a dramatization. Stand by for news from WKBW Radio, Buffalo.
South Vietnam freed 900 Viet Cong prisoners of war today to mark President Thieu's second inauguration. The Vietnamese Defense Ministry said they were released from their barbed wire detention camp 15 miles northeast of Saigon. All but 19 will have to undergo what the government called political indoctrination before assuming full citizenship. Those freed were men, women, and children. This is Joe Downing, and this is the 11 o'clock news brought to you tonight by Keyhole Fashions of the University Plaza, headquarters for Wright Flats. Reports from Belfast say 3 persons have died and at least 12 were hurt after a violent weekend in Northern Ireland. Sniper fire, bombings, and street fighting were the causes. Spokesmen for the outlawed Irish Republican Army deny any hand in a blast that rocked the post office tower in London. It caused extensive damage, but no one was injured. A tipster told a British news agency in London it was the work of the IRA. In this country, in New York City, radical groups held a people's trial today to investigate the deaths last month during the Attica State Prison riot. The groups charged President Nixon, Governor Rockefeller, and other officials with murder and crimes against humanity. An audience of about 500 persons gathered in a mock courtroom setting in the ballroom of the St. George Hotel in Brooklyn. The son of New York City's off-track betting corporation president is free in $500 bail tonight after he was arrested yesterday at Kennedy Airport on charges of possession of drugs. Howard Samuels II was arrested at the airport after a routine search by a sky marshal allegedly revealed a quantity of heroin and cocaine. 22 Cubans will have legal assistance at their deportation hearing tomorrow in New Orleans. An officer of the Czechoslovakian embassy has been assigned to help them. Cubans arrived last week without visas for a sugarcane meeting. From the White House, we have this report from UPI correspondent Ted Cheese.
Some 38,000 high school principals, depending on the vagaries of the Postal Service, will get letters from the President on Monday morning. The letters will tell them about Mr. Nixon's Environmental Merit Award program. It's aimed at getting high school students actively involved in projects to improve the